Hey Lisa, how you doing? So I decided to go ahead and make this video for you, and then go ahead and post it on YouTube and share the link with you. I figured it's going to be a lot easier because if we do a Skype call, I know you're a very active person and you might not always be able to find time to do that. Even though I would love to talk to you, I figured this way would go a little bit easier, and then you have something to reference back as well, recorded. You can play back the video anytime you want, and I'm going to help you as much as I can. Um, if I need to make another video on something else, or redo the video, or do whatever I can, just let me know and I'll do whatever I can. Alrighty, so let's start off. Alrighty, so you already have it open, but you want to make sure your chat rooms are open. Boom, right here. Okay, you have your two right here, your search and your manage. Okay, so to be able to create a room, which I'm going to show you today, is how to put it in a chat slot and kind of create it a little bit. So you want to make sure you're in your manage. And what that's going to do when you click on that is going to bring up any available chat slots. And I believe you're VIP. So if you're VIP and you don't have anything you ever made before in chat slots, you should have 10 available chat slots to be able to use as VIP, as long as you remain VIP. When you lapse in VIP or you get rid of it, it's going to go ahead and gray it out where you can't use it. So if you make rooms and that happens, your rooms won't be deleted, but you won't have access to them. So if you click on manage, it brings up all the rooms if you have any made. If not, it'll bring up chat slots like this, like 10 of them. So you have available space for a new chat room. It's going to come up like this. You should have 10 of them. I think it's 7. Yep, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's going to kind of be these 3, and then this top row is going to show for you. But I bought extra ones because I'm a roomaholic. Which got a little bit expensive, but okay. All right. So to be able to go ahead and put a room in a chat slot to be able to start decorating on it, that's what I'm gonna focus on. There's a couple of other different ways, or at least 2 that I know of, but we can do this at another time. Um, okay, so you're gonna go ahead and click on the yellow "Create a Room" button. I'm gonna click on this. Okay, and what's gonna come up here is gonna say create a new chat room, and it actually tells you required steps. The asterisk on the side, red right here, on some of them they will have that red asterisk. That is required for you to be able to put that room in a chat slot for it to be completed. If not, it's going to be grayed out and it won't let you till you take care of that. So we're going to start off with a room, which it doesn't matter because this room is really, I'm not going to at the moment use it for anything. This is just for tutorial purposes. Who says later on I might not decorate it more, put it out there, but for right now we're going to go this route of just tutorial wise. So it does require a name. You can put anything you want, but it's a country room that I found, an empty room. So we're going to go with something country. Country side bar. Not countryside bar. Not bar wise anyway. Countryside. We're just gonna go countryside. I have my caps on. Oops. Okay. The maximum number of users, that is the ones that are allowed. So let's say if you're in the room, if you set it for 8 people, then only 7 other people can go in there. Anybody else would have to be pulled or invited by someone else that is in the room, or yourself that is in the room. So you can set it to whatever you want. I'm gonna set it to 10 for just for that. Okay. Room availability. Alrighty, this is public. So what the public one means, of course, is that it's going to be searchable under your name and under your room name, and people will be able to find your chat room. So they'll be able to go ahead and get in there if they do not go over the settings of the maximum number of users. So if you have it set to 10 people, if you're not in the room, if you are in the room, it's going to be 9 other people can get in. Anybody else has to be invited. So open means that the room is, you still can go in the room, but other people are going to need the URL link, which I'll show you after I set the chat room in. It appears, and then I'll go back and I'll show you. But they would need the link to the room to be able to get in. but they still have to adhere by the maximum number of users. So if you've got more than 10 people already in there, that link, they will not, it won't let them in that room because the room is full. So of course they would have to get somebody to pull them, but this is where it would not be searchable in the search options. They would have to have that link. Closed wise is basically where you close off the room completely. It doesn't delete the room. It's still in the chat slot, but it will go ahead and prevent anyone, including yourself, from loading into the room. You would definitely have to come back in the settings, which I'll show you, and change it to either public or open for you or anybody else to even have access to it. So just be cautious when you use the closed section. Alrighty. So room access controls. Some of these features are awesome. Some of them could be better, but you know how that goes. Okay. So what's going to happen is the required access pass. If a person has GA, they cannot go into a room that requires access pass. It will actually, when they load the room, it will give them an error that they can't access it. Something about it, access pass only. So if you click that, it puts a little check mark. That means that setting will be enabled. To get rid of it, of course, you click back on and it clears out the box and the settings will be disabled for that particular feature. So that's what that is. So, and funny story, when I had made the theme room that we did for the actual 80s to neon event, when I set it up, I wanted it to be AP. So I went ahead and had to take it out because Molly does not have AP. So I wanted to make sure that anybody else, and Molly as well, and thinking of taking pictures, all that came into play. So I wanted to make sure that everybody, you know, of course, you know, had that ability, you know, and to be able to join, just not AP people and not be able to post pictures. So that's what that is. Required VIP. It's going to require only people that have VIP that can enter. They have to have VIP. If not, they will not be able to enter the room. Required age verification. They need to make sure that their account is verified under the age verification. If not, they cannot enter the room. No guest users. So let's say if it's a new user that made an account today, they haven't had specify a name. Or don't have VIP, and when I mean specifying a name, that they didn't get rid of the guest underscore before their name starts. That's what I'm talking about. As long as it's not a registered name, that's what I'm getting at. Sorry. So if you click that, then people with the guest underscore and then their name, they will not be able to enter. The one I really like feature, I don't use it often, but I know people that have used it, and it kind of serves as a good thing if you're doing something really important that you just want your friends and your family, anybody that's on your list only to get into the room, of course, still heed the maximum number of users. That always comes into play no matter what, or they gotta get pulled after. So it will only allow your friends that are on your list, and it's only a VIP feature. So something happens, you do not have your VIP anymore for any reason, whatever that could be, it's going to make this setting null and void when you lose it. Null and void, sorry. Pretty much. Okay, and that should happen automatically, but I've never seen a situation where it happens, so I'm just kind of going winging it here. So yeah, friends only, so it's whoever's on your friendship list. Also, too, if you have, let's say, a friend that's, of course, on your list and they're in the room, and that's what you have your setting room, your room set it to, friends only. If they try to pull anybody that is not on your friendship list, because it's your room, they will get a message and still will not be allowed to enter the room because they're not on your friends list. You would have to go ahead and add them on your friends list, and then they would have to reload on their end. Well, give it some time to update on IMVU, whatever. How long that's going to take for them kind of goes nuts and bananas. So it's going to take a little bit. So that's the good thing about this feature. Alrighty. Room image. There's a way to do this. What you would do is click on here. You would have to make sure that it's uploaded to your pictures, your album. When you do that, you want to make sure you get out of the chat room slot completely, and I keep saying slot, chat room tab completely, and then reload it for the picture to show up once you post it in your photos. Don't know why it does that, why it can't instantly do it. I don't know. That's IMVU. They have the feature remove AP products. That's if you are playing around in your room tab and you've added AP products in there, but now you want to go ahead and post your room in a chat slot, and you want to get rid of all AP products to make it a generic a GA room. You can go ahead and click that, and it's going to remove any and all AP products that you have put in your room. Alrighty. So we're going to select the room right now. This is your room shell. This is right here. It's going to be all of the rooms. They will be listed. I have a bunch of them, of all the ones you ever purchased or got as a gift from IMVU or someone else. So anyone that you own is going to show up here. When you have these other two tabs, like our room, which is basically when you get married, you share a room with your spouse. On IMVU, this would be your room that you can set as a public one as well. That's why it's only one, because you only get one for that. But then you got shared rooms. Now, I got a bunch of shared rooms between Aiden and a few friends and family members. I have a bunch of them. But you can also go ahead and do that as well. And there's a secret about that, but I'm going to do it later. Because I don't want this video to last 3 hours, because that would get kind of like, ugh. Alrighty. So I'm back on room shell, so I'm gonna go find the one which is country, which whenever you press the letters, it's gonna categorize itself. So it's country, borough, city. Alrighty. So your language. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Remove furniture. So let's say you have any type of furniture, unless it's preset the mesh, and when I mean when they're creating the room, that they specified or placed an object in there that comes with the room. If it's something that you purchased and you added, then what's standardized into the room, then when you click this, it will remove every item and you could start out fresh. That's what that feature for, and I've used it a couple of times, and yes, it did come in handy. I did like that. So now, whatever language, you can put whatever you want. It's your room. You can either leave it unspecified or pick a certain one. Since I only speak English, boom. And basically that's just to let you know, anybody, if your room is public, they search for it. Oh, okay, well, it's Chinese. I can go, talk Chinese in this room, or Italian, or whatever. But I'm putting it to English because I only speak English. Now, your room description is basically something that you can play around with. It's in the description box. When you click in a room, they have the description box. This is exactly this section. And then you can edit and put whatever you want. Me, I would try to describe the room a little bit, or what it's going to be like, but you're going to, if that's what you want to do, you can go ahead and describe the room. It can be for several other things. It's just to give people, when they look, because some people don't look at it, and some people do. So I'm just going to put like country living. I'll put like friendly space, and you could also put, I always try to put in my rooms no, oh, hang on, I always try to put in every room, which probably some of them I don't. I need to go back and recheck that, but I always put be, or something to the effect of be respectful or be booted. And you can also add like rate room, enjoy your stay. And doing this will not do spaces. I'm just doing spaces to whatever. It's all going to be in one paragraph. It's not going to space it out, unfortunately. I wish it did. It'd be so much easier. You can also put no body lights. I just put DL. No crickets. No voice box. No wings. and so on and so on. Whatever you specify, you like. If you don't want somebody in there with a voice box, you know, and then you can go ahead and go from there, mod them out, boot them out, do whatever you got to do. But that's just letting them know, so if they come in there, hey, you got a voice box, look out. You might get booted. It's against the rules. But you can specify that, and now you only allow so much space. After that, it starts whatever you type. You can still type, but it will not display on the description card. You only allow so much space. I don't know how much is it. I want to say maybe it's 4 or 5 lines. I could be wrong. I'll have to test that theory out. I just never think of it. Okay, so next section is room moderators. Okay, so what this is it gives anybody else, because you're automatically going to have mod. You're going to have a little gold star when you click on yourself. You're the owner of the room, so you already have all rights. And you'll be able to boot anybody as you wish or need, or block them. You know, whatever. And that's the thing is once you... Let's say if somebody comes into the room and they're acting whatever, and you decide you want to boot them. When you boot them, of course, it gives them at least 20 minutes, I believe, before they can re-enter your room again. But if it's somebody that you decide, this person, no, never allowed in my room again, you have the ability, once you block them, physically block them, what happens is that they can no longer enter or find any of your rooms whatsoever. Even if somebody tries to pull them in to your room, they will not be able. It will give them an error. They're not, and it'll specify that they've been blocked or whatever, you know, the action is. And so that's a good thing about it. So once they're blocked, they can't get in the room. But this is where you can assign other moderators other than yourself. So let's say if you wanted to go ahead, I'm gonna use Steph. So let's say if you wanted to go ahead and add Steph as a moderator, you definitely want to go ahead and put their full avatar name. Not what's on the mobile version when they're able to change it, but definitely what their username is. So hers would be Stevie Joy, and then you would go ahead and put comma right after her name, and then space. If you do it any other way, unless you're doing it on mobile, which that's maybe another video, but if you do it on mobile, it's a lot easier. But on here, you got to do it like this, unfortunately. If you don't do it like I'm showing you, it's gonna mess up. It's not gonna put them as moderators. Which, if they're in the room while you're doing this, they're gonna have to reload the room, get out of it completely, and reload it, or wait till the next time they go back into your room. Then the changes will take effect. Now, if something happens, you want to demod somebody, you would just come in here, of course, and delete their name like this, and then save, create a room, and then save the settings. Then you get out of the room, reload the room, and then boom, they won't be mod anymore. So you can add Steph, Stevie Joey, comma, space. So let's say if you want to add other people too, like I'm just going to use Aiden as an example. Capital M or, okay, yes, one, blah, blah. Alrighty, boom. Now, okay, boom now. Aiden, it will now be a mod. And if you wanted to add me, I'm not saying you have to add any of us, I'm just showing you if you ever want to. And then space, boom. Okay, so I'm not going to save any of this, because I believe when you do this, even with the mobile app or the client, PC or mobile, it's going to send out a notification that you added them as mod. Also when you're removing them. So they're probably going to get a notification and will know when you're doing this every time. And any time that you update your description, I'm not sure with these other settings, possibly, but anytime I think you definitely, when, like let's say if you would come back and add something like, whatever, like, hey you, whatever, and you go to update it, it will send them that basically you made them a mod. So it's like giving an update. So it's a kind of pain in the neck sometimes, and I wish you can turn it off, but oh well. So let me delete this, the room moderators, because I'm using this only as a tutorial. So alrighty, so it looks like we have everything, and it It's no longer shaded out. We have access it. So I'm gonna go ahead. Once I click the create room, it's gonna put it at the top of my list. So where the tranquility room it was, well, currently is, as you see on my screen, it's gonna go ahead and it's gonna put this new one in here, and it's gonna put it without an image. So there we go. Create a room. All right. So here we go. So basically, it's gonna show that it's a new one for a little while. Countryside. Okay. It says by me, but it's gonna say by you when you make one. Language, and it actually shows you when you come in and check how many times someone visited your room. So like, let me show you this one, Disco Tunnel Chiller Pipe, which by the way was my first room ever. I made it back in 2018, but it did undertake an overhaul, undergo an overhaul, TLC. Now it's a little more like a 70s disco kind of thing. Before it was just, I don't know. Makes me wonder what I was doing. So I kind of give it some love and care. But see, visitors, 667. Oh, Jesus. It just missed the mark. Thank you, Lord. Don't like that. So now that we have the chat open, there is no picture. This is the standardized without a picture. So you're gonna go ahead and click. Okay, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So I said it's gonna show you the room URL for when you have it set on open option in the room availability. So to be able to see that, you see where it says, it gives you these options, delete. Once you click delete and you hit confirm, you can't get the room back. It's going to delete it permanently. You'll have to start the process all over again. Now what that happens, if you have your room set up already, design how you want it, automatically saves, I believe, on the server. So even though you delete the room, the stuff that you made in it should stay when you go back and check on the room. You'll just have to go ahead and enter the chat slot information, all that stuff I showed you, again, from scratch. But if you go to edit, it's going to bring back up, and it's going to bring back up to manage my chat room, and a couple of things have changed on here. So this is the room URL right here. So you would go ahead and click on it and then copy it and then send it to whoever you wanted to send it. If your room availability was set on open, which I'm going to set it on open right now because I really don't want nobody popping in while I'm trying to show you this. So that's basically it. And then you can click here to publish this room as a furnished bundle, I guess, when you're creating and stuff like that. But I don't want to do any of that. We're just doing this for tutorial purposes. So I'm going to hit save. Alright. And it looks like it went ahead and it saved it, updated it. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit go to enter the room. Alright, so it looks like we've loaded the room. So, kind of looks like a dance hall kind of thing. But I just really like the horses. They were cute. And then they have the little horses at the top. We're scrolling a little bit. Okay. Alrighty. So what I do also is I go ahead and it's always nice when people rate your room, but I'm usually the first one to go ahead and click the stars. Because when you do that, when you're going to reload the chat area, you see how these go right here? The rating toolbar. Until someone clicks on, the first person clicks on it, it won't show. So I go ahead and click on it so it can show next time I load. Especially if I didn't have no visitors yet, or that voted on it. Okay, so this is a nice little size area. You can fit a lot of stuff. So I wanted to also show you the effects of how much stuff you put in your room, which you're gonna be able to fill out the room that you get. Because I'm sure when you're gonna be shopping for a room, you know what you want it to kind of be like, the colors and the look, and they have so many different types of rooms, like beaches and wedding halls and etc., all that stuff. So it kind of gets your creativity flowing as far as looking what colors you want, and then when you become a creator, you have the ability to create your own type of room, change colors and stuff. If you ever want to learn that, I'll show you, but that's another video. and it's very really easy to do, but another video. Okay, so let's say if I want, we need seating in here. So I kind of bought some seating not too long ago. I just gotta find where it is. I think it's in all categories. No. Oh, it's definitely in there, just not. Let's see. Recently added. Okay, here we go. This, it's not gonna look the best because I'm not trying to make it look fancy or anything. I'm just trying to show you the easy steps um, of how to make things. So whenever you pick out and you go into the shop and you find something that's gonna look good, or how you, and I'm sorry for saying look good, that you feel like that's what you want in your room, then you'll know where to put it, and you know how to move it around to where you want to put it, because it's all about customization, creativity. You know, it's your room. Hey, go for it. I mean, and if you make a mistake, they got a delete button, or you can move it and all that other stuff. So you really can't make too much of a, you know, blooper. So okay, so since I'm right here, what's gonna happen is probably when I load it in. Usually when you load an object into a room, wherever you're standing at is probably most of the time is going to load in that, around that area, or in front of you, and back to you, whatever. It just depends. Sometimes they do have glitches on IMVU, and sometimes when you add something, it might end up on the other side of the room. So that's the fun part. Especially if you have a room that has a lot of stuff in it, and your KBs, which I'm going to talk about in a second, is really high. I would say a room that starts to lag really bad, it goes beyond about 11,000 KBs, maybe to 12, and then it starts lagging the more people you have in there. Um, so I'm gonna add this. Okay, see how it loaded in? Half of it out. So we're gonna definitely want to go ahead and move that. But right now it looks like you can't do anything. Okay, so you see this section right here? This is furniture tools, where the little hammer is. That's if you want to lower your music in the room, if somebody's playing playlist. And this is, of course, your rating. People will see that they can rate your room. Okay, so it looks like it's already at 493 KBs. 493 KBs, which, I mean, we're just starting out, so that's good. Alrighty, so to be able to go ahead and move this thing where you want it, that's not coming halfway out through the door, you would go ahead and click on, and the good thing about this is that it does tell you when you scroll on each of it which button does what. So this, you want to move the object. So the first one, this is the Explorer, where this is, you know, yeah, exploring. And so you would definitely go back and click the move. Okay, so you see how I have it on right here? If you go ahead, if you hit shift, see how it goes up and down? You can move objects up and down in the air, floating wherever you want. Especially, it's good to, like, if you have frames or 2 stories, you want to add furniture, because some rooms that you have, depending on how it's made, it gets technical, because then you got to start maneuvering around these walls and everything else, blah blah. That's why I just wanted an open space to show you. So this would go ahead, sorry, I would go ahead and I would click with my mouse button, which is my left one, hold it down while I have the shift key on, and don't release it yet. Just and you just move your mouse up or down, and see, like that, and you can kind of move stuff. Now we don't want it to be up in the air. Oh, look at me, I still got it up in the air. That's what I'm saying. I need to get it as close as possible. Okay, alrighty. So let's say I want to move this like in the middle. So I take it, I would hit control instead. Control is going left to right. So you hit control with the mouse, of course, and you slide your mouse over in either direction that you want. And it slides the product with you in it if you're sitting there at the time. You just click it and move. See? Easy peasy. It's a pain in the neck when I did it because I was trying to learn, so I understand. Okay, alright, so the next one I'm going to do is I really don't like the formation of it and how it looks, so I want to kind of rotate it a little bit, play with it and see what looks best. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I was on the move tab. If you click on the next one, is the rotate tab. So once you hover over it, it's going to have that little circle with the arrow. All you do is you click it and it rotates. Boom, like that. See? And if you don't like it, you can keep on rotating however you see fit. Which, let me move it up some more because it really looks like no space. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, so let's see. So okay, all right. So let's say I got it dead set where I want it. Like I know I'm not gonna move it, or it's gonna be there for a while. Sometimes moving stuff around the room, especially when you have quite a bit of stuff, you might end up clicking on the wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. Apologies. Let me take a sip. Excuse me. So you might have different stuff that you have in the room, and you might end up clicking on the wrong thing, and it might move a different object than the one you want to, and it gets to be a pain in the butt, straight up. And I've done that many a times. So if you go right here to your lock button, when you click it, it locks the item into place. And you could only go ahead and unlock it if you're still on the lock tab. So if I go ahead and relock it, and I try to go ahead and move it again, it will not let me because it's locked into place. So I can't move it, resize it, delete it. So let me unlock it real quick. Now this one is going to be the scaler. So this is what makes things bigger and smaller, pretty much. So if I want to do anything, all I do is I'll click on it. See? And it makes it bigger. Or if I go the other way, it makes it smaller. You know, and some items you might want to be small, like a vase or a picture frame or a plant. You know, different things that you find, you might want it to be bigger than the actual size that it comes out. So that's great too. It's called the scale. And you actually have copies. So let's say you go ahead. Oh, IMVU is messaging me. Man, I hope my products. Oh, I did some music. So 1 second, let me go check that out. I'm gonna be so upset if it doesn't pass. Ooh, it passed! Yay! Yay, 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 yay. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, alrighty. Sorry, let's get back on track. I gotta send that to a friend of mine. So... Oh, Aiden's messaging me on Skype. Give me a second. Okay, alrighty. So I might have to be on and off if he messages me. You know our lovable Aiden. Alrighty. So, let's see. This one I don't play around too much. Reset, I believe if you go on there and you... Well, okay, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm so sorry. I get really distracted easily. Alrighty, so... Copy. So let's say you like these chairs and you want to add it to a corner, or you want to duplicate a copy and you don't want to have to go back in. Like I say, if you closed out of here and you don't want to have to go back in there and search for it, because the more stuff you add, of course, it won't be in the recents. It's going to be on. If you don't want to have to go search for that and you just want to copy the same thing, the copy tab, you click it, boom, and it loosely puts it on a random size. So you have duplicates like this. And then, of course, you go back to the move, and bam, you could add more seating. If you kind of, let me move this aside, right here, okay, and then you can move this right here. And I'll eventually get it. Let me try to rotate it and see. Don't know if that helps. You kind of move it slightly. Okay, have my finger under control. Let me kind of move this over too. So, I mean, for right now, that looks okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lock them into place after I show you these other features. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's say if you have an object that you size, you know, stuff like that you altered, reset it. We'll go ahead and reset it to its original thing. So I had it right here. I'm gonna go put it back. So that's what it is. It resets it to its normal state of when you loaded it in, the original state. So now I gotta kind of play with it again. Okay, I ain't messing with it no more. See, I don't like that because it would drive me completely nuts. So let me see if I can kind of change just a little bit and kind of move up. Okay, so to be able to get through this video, we're just gonna leave it like that. So, yeah. So this is to undo or redo. So if you, let's say you did something 2 turns ago, 2 alterations ago, and you want to go back to them, you can go ahead and flick the undo or the redo. Basically like on Microsoft Word. When you do something, you remove it, then you redo it, remove it, same aspect. And if you click on that little thing I just clicked on, it kind of explains everything right here as well. Excuse me. So it actually goes into further detail and explains it. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this. And of course, to delete it, you hit the trash can. Boom, it deletes it, but I'm not deleting it. So I'm back, clicked on the lock. Boom. Now one thing too, if it's the same object you load into the room, same identical product, same product, it will not add more to the KBs. It's only when you're adding new stuff in. So for everything new, it's gonna up your KBs. So let's say from here I wanted to add a plant. So I'm gonna go search, that's the room, that's my avatar. Okay, so this is the room, and I have a couple of plants. I need to really blind more. I don't have a lot of them. If I can spell right. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back this to move, because as soon as I load it in, I know I'm gonna move it. So we're just gonna use this. Now wherever, like I said, see, wherever I'm sitting at, it's gonna load it. So let's say I want to add it right here. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna push it as far as I can, right here. Boom, that's good. And of course, I'm gonna go ahead and use the copy feature. You see how it added to the KBs, 518. Now, for you to be able to see basically what the KBs for each product are is when you're shopping as well. That shows it. Or if you really want to know, if you click on the item and you click the name of it and it brings up the web page like this, it should show right here 672 KBs limit to. That might be wrong, so don't go off of that. I'm gonna show you a different way, so excuse that, sorry about that. Okay, alrighty, so let me go ahead and use the copy feature, and it's not gonna add no more to the KBs. See, it's right here, move, boom. So, and you can adjust it. If you go to move, you can adjust it like this, boom, or boom, however you want. Alrighty. So right now I got chairs and plants. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and add pictures. So pictures are kind of tricky. It depends if it is a picture, because sometimes they'll load on the floor, and it depends on the different mesh that the creator uses. Sometimes it will not load onto the wall easily. If I can find one like that, I'll kind of show you. But most of the time it should load. But let me go ahead and look it up. I got a bunch of frames. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and load this. which is a picture saying about the Lord. So wherever I'm sitting at, of course, it's gonna load. So I'm gonna load it in. See? And it loads in between here. So I'm gonna kind of move it. Alright, so I moved it to where I can see it. But it depends. You have to watch how far you're gonna have to like move it around, up, down, sideways, whatever, to be able to get it. So if I go ahead and I hit the shift key is the up and down button, and I hold it with my mouse. When I'm on the move tab, the move option, hold it and it comes up. See? And it's just because that the textures are blending in and it kind of knocks out the frame itself. So now it's loading. So let me see if it's gonna do it. Yeah, it does do it. But for some reason, if it doesn't do this, and it, trust me, you'll know, and it just stays on the floor and it won't let you move it nowhere else, you can use the rotate feature. So when you click the rotate feature, all you do is rotate it, and I'm gonna move it to the side a little because I like things to try to be even. Excuse me. I better not be getting sick. Alrighty. So if you click here, alright. So to be able to get it on this wall. So I want to go ahead and you're going to click on rotate. Now this is a different feature. They also have a feature to where you can go ahead and get it to rotate up and down instead of on the sides. So if you hit shift down while you're on the rotation option, it's going to come up like this. You click on it, and if... Wait, I'm doing the wrong one. I am sorry. Do not hit shift. Hit control. The control is the up and down feature. I apologize for that. So you're going to go ahead, see, if I go... just kind of play with it. Now always check to go as even as I can be, like it's straight up even, because I hate a crooked picture. Alrighty, so now that it's up like this, you go ahead and you go to your move tab, and you're gonna go ahead and hit shift for up and down. You kind of drag it. Alrighty. Now I try to get as close as possible. Now I go ahead and I hit the control tab and I boom, move it, and I play with it. Now you're gonna know if you're going outside the wall, because look, it's hiding the texture. So just a tad little bit. Okay. So see, that looks good enough. So now you just adjust it with the move sideways. Oh, that's what you gotta watch out for sometimes. See? Then you have to go adjust it. So I'm gonna have to go back here and adjust it like this and push it up. Boom. Okay, this is... It looks funny. Oh my goodness. Let me fix that. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Okay. No, it has to be almost like perfect. I'm sorry. I don't want things to be rotting. Okay, and you're never gonna absolutely get it perfect. Don't try to be a perfectionist like me, because it never ends well. Okay, alright, and you can just rotate it up, move on the side, and boom, that's how you put a frame up that will not automatically go to the wall. You have to adjust, so hopefully you'll be able to go back and see that. Alright, and I'm going to lock that sucker into place, because definitely don't want to have it moving unless I choose to move it later. So just click on it, boom, it's locked. So when you're going over it, if it's like this, it's locked, and if you go back, if it's like this, it's unlocked. And you just click it. Same thing with this. I'm locking all of this, and then so forth and so on. You know, and then as you do it, you're gonna get used to it. When I first started, I didn't think I was ever gonna get used to the picture itself, adjusting pictures. That's what drove me bananas. And I remember my good friend saying, "Oh, we'll do it more. You're gonna be able to do it." I was like, "Blah, I don't want to do it." So, but yeah, and you just add more pictures. So let's say if I just wanted to add, I'm gonna add a picture of me and Aiden. So I'm just gonna click this, and see, sometimes it loads like this. So let's see if it's gonna be easy on me or if it's going to drive me bananas. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the fun part. So you're gonna have some frames that negative is not gonna work like that. So I want it to come right here. So easy fix for it. So if you go to your rotation tab, if it's gonna work for me, it's kind of like in and out. Oh Lord. Okay. I'm glad this is all happening so I can show you all this. Okay. So I just take it of the rotation and I turn it easy. And I'm gonna go make sure it's not too far out. Nope, perfect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and boom. Like that. And I did use control to be able to move it like that. And I want to adjust it, and most likely it's probably going to go into the wall and I'll have to fix it. Oh, no it didn't. Yay! It's just tricky. It depends on the mesh, Lisa. It really does. I'm going to move it down just a little. And of course, like, let's say if I wanted to go ahead and scale it up a bit. Boom. I can go ahead. And there we go. So, there's a lot of things you can put into a room. Let's say if I wanted to add, I think I have a banquet table. Okay, so we're gonna use this one. I think it's a wedding one, but I'm gonna load it. But I'm gonna position my avatar. I'm gonna go back on the Explorer tab and position my avatar right here to make it easier, because I'm tired of having it load into the seating area. Now, you can actually, when you're shopping, I just got these tables to be able to show you, but you'll probably be able to find better tables if you wanted to add food and stuff like that. Or you could physically do it yourself, but that would take a little time. Which I give you that if you do that, because I don't think I have enough patience unless it was like an important event. But so here we go. Let me load this in here. Did it load? Where did it? Okay, it loaded in front of me. Ew. Okay, so negative, kind of. I don't like the colors. Not for this type of room, but we'll use it just to show. But so I'm gonna rotate it because I don't want them to be looking outside the door, even though the horses are pretty. Okay, so when I rotated it, see, it kind of pushed it back here. So I gotta go to the move tab and move that sucker over. Okay, and be careful because sometimes, depending on what the product is, it'll be hard to find the little button to be able to move it. Just drag it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna say it's like a, I don't know, like a feast dinner or whatever type of room. So I kind of threw it up on stage, and it will automatically, when you move it, it'll throw it up there. Okay, so I'm gonna rotate it. Oh, Muji, and sometimes it'll lag and do that. That gets to be a pain. Okay, so rotate. Alrighty, so let's see how far back this is. Is this gonna be good? Or do I gotta go crazy? Okay, this actually looks good. Alrighty. And I'm so sorry this video was like 10 minutes away from being an hour long. But I really just wanted to go ahead and kind of show you, you know, hands-on. And I'll make a better one without all the... which I should have did 2 videos. One to add a chat slot, and then one to actually decorate the room. Okay, so this looks good right here, because I keep moving it around. I'm going to go ahead and lock it into place. Okay. Actually, let me unlock it because I want to adjust it. That's just me. You know, do whatever you feel is right. So I'm adjusting it just a bit because I like to try to make it a little bit center-wise. Okay, so I locked it back. Alrighty. So you can just say this is kind of like a banquet hall. Now you can also add, like, let's say if you wanted to add a couch. Did I spell it right? Probably not. The text is so small, man. I wish they would allow you to make the text bigger. Okay, so let's say I wanted to add a couch, and it could just be a random stinking couch. It doesn't. Like I said, this is just tutorial for you. Let me just throw this one on here. Okay, so it loaded right here. So you would just go ahead, take it, and you rotate it. See? And if I can kind of rotate it to fit in like this, and my phone's going off in between. Okay, not much. There's just weather alert. Okay, so I kind of moved it, so I kind of got it sideways, but I did that on purpose because I want to try to get it to where it kind of goes in like this. And sometimes it will be a pain in the neck. Okay, alright. So I want to make sure, see how it goes. If you look into it, it's going out of it. I don't like that. Boom. Okay. So, and then you can add like a plant behind it and stuff like that. I just don't like things to... I don't like one object to be into another. Especially if it looks tacky. That's just me. And I'm sorry, if anything I'm saying at all is being disrespectful or you're taking offense to anything, I really extremely apologize. I'm not. I just want to show you, you know, the best I can. But I'm really kind of like, I guess the best word is a perfectionist when it comes to a room. I try to make sure. And me, I change it over 15, 20 times. Because either I feel like I want to put another object in, or I want to take something out, or I want to do whatever. So, yeah. So I kind of change it back and forth. But yeah, so I could go ahead and do the same over here, but I'm not going to. There's no point on this. Just tutorial. So, and you can add whatever type of couch you want. And if you're on the Explore tab after, which, let me go back. Let me lock this sucker. Boom. See? And there you go. You sit. And they have different couches with different poses, better than this one. But you can add basically what you want. So you can... I mean, this is basically really it. And you can just go ahead and, you know, add more. They have so much stuff in the shop. Now, one thing I'm going to show you too before, you know, I end this video for you is... I was trying to do this video over and over. So I recorded a couple of others and it kind of didn't work out right. And look, thank goodness most of it was at the beginning of it and not like 15 minutes into the video because I would have screamed. So I want to show you too, like let's say we definitely have, you have everything in your room. Now see how the KBs are already went up? 1,215. Remember, the more new products you add, the higher it's going to be. So I recommend 11,000 or down. You should be okay with other people in the room. As long as their KBs ain't crazy, like 8,000 KBs, which is ridiculous. I think me and Aiden seen one time that was 250,000 KBs. It was bad, like, but we think they were on mobile and had everything in their inventory loaded. It was crazy. So, yep, this is like basically it for here. So I'm going to show you. Like, let's say if you wanted to go ahead and added a dance floor, which you probably could have added a little bit here or there. But let's say, for most of the rooms I have, a lot of it, unless it's a club, I have it outside a certain area. So I'm going to show you how you can actually add to outside of the room. That's very simple. And it's basically the same thing as you would do in here, but outside of here. So if you take your right mouse button and you click it, and you move your mouse left to right, it takes you outside of the room in the black void, or whatever you want to call it. and you'll be able to see things. Like when I add like an add-on bathroom or whatever, I just add it wherever. So yeah, as long as you hold down your right mouse button and you move it, you can go outside the room or you can go on top. Now I've seen where people have added, in one room I added something at top like a dance floor or whatever. So you can basically do what you want. But when you're going to load a product in there, it's going to load it in the confines of the room, the mesh, like this area. So you're going to have to go ahead and grab it and then rotate it out, or not rotate it, but move it out. Okay, so let's say I wanted to go ahead and add a dance floor, but I wanted to do it outside of the room. So you just go in the shop and you find what kind of dance floor you think, yada yada yada, all that stuff. So let's say I like this dance floor. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click this, and I hope it's gonna load in. Okay, so it loads in here, awesome, which I really do like that. Okay, so it added to the KBs. Alrighty, so let's say I want to go ahead and add it outside. So if I click on the move button, hold down control, left to right, hold down my mouse, you just drag it out. And boom. There you go. And you can move it wherever you want, or if you go ahead and you hit shift on the move tab, you can move it up and you can just assign it off. Now if I wanted to add a dance to it, dances are a little bit tricky and it gets on my nerves sometimes. So we're just gonna try to add, oh excuse me, I'm so sorry, I don't have a lot of ones, but let's see, let me load this in. Okay, go back to Explorer tab. Okay, there we go, it's loaded in. Alright, so it might not fit in there, so I might have to expand it. Okay, so I'm gonna click on it and move this sucker and see the dance 2,560 KBs already. So I'm gonna go ahead, see how I'm dancing. You always want to make sure you click on the item, especially when it's an action or a dance, because it could be a pain to find if you don't. Alrighty, and I'm just gonna adjust it and try to get it on this as best I can. And I always go ahead and try to size it like this, like look at it and kind of eyeball it. And I'm gonna move it up by hitting shift, kind of move it up a little bit, and then hit control, and boom. See how it's floating up in the heat still because I adjusted it. So all I'm just gonna do is click here. Now see, that's what I told you about. I didn't lock this, so if I wasn't paying attention and I clicked this, it would move this. See, it would drive me completely bananas. And boom, you have a dance floor. But you can go ahead and resize it as much as you want if you hit the scale, and as long as it's highlighted and not this highlighted like this, you're not messing with the dance. Because if you go ahead and you scale it, it's just gonna make it's gonna make the Abbey bigger. So if you click on this, boom, you make it bigger. Wait, wrong one. There we go. Or you can make it smaller, and it'll tell you when it's at the max. It'll say mini, like that. But boom. So that's basically it. As far as putting stuff on the outside, just remember when you do it like this outside of the room, it will load into the room. So you definitely, did I unlock both of it? Okay, so whenever you're gonna load it in, it's gonna load into the confines of the room. So just make sure that you go ahead and you move it and you drag it outward. And you can add as much as you want. But like I said, the more new stuff you're going to add, as long as it's copies is fine. Once you have it loaded, you have multiple copies of the same product, it will not add to the KBs. But if it's anything new, like if I was to add a tree out here that's not already in here, which they don't have no trees in here, so bad example. But if they did have a tree in here, if I added a different type of tree that's not the same one that's in here about the same person, then it would add extra KBs to it. So, and then you can add so many different things. If you leave out of here and you go into a shop and you go to furniture, You will not believe, look at this big amount. You won't believe the different stuff you'll be able to find up in there. And you could just, like I said, use your personal, creativity, the colors you like, different things, and you're gonna get it. It's gonna be awesome. If you have any more questions whatsoever on different things that I can help you with, please let me know. And I'm so sorry this video is an hour. I did not intend it to be, but I wanted to make sure I went in detail as much as possible because I know you could do this, and it's very easy. It might get a little frustrating at times. Trust me, me almost put out my hair a couple of times, but you're gonna get it. I know Steph said for the skating ring, she almost she almost pulled her hair out. So, and I definitely understand what she means. So, if you have any questions, go ahead and just shoot me a message on Skype, and I will go ahead and help you as much as possible. If you need me to go ahead and do a particular thing um, on IMVU for you and show you, I will do your video. Um, just let me know, okay? Alrighty, have a good night, Lisa. Take care. Bye bye.